Welcome to Beneath the Surface with TJ Woodward and Rachel Kove. In a world that often moves quickly and stays on the surface, this is a space where we slow down and turn inward. Together, we explore what lives beneath our stories, our reactions, and the ways we've been conditioned to see ourselves, others, and the world. We dive into themes of recovery, trauma, identity, polarization, and conscious living. Let's begin. Welcome back. We are definitely taking a deeper dive beneath the surface, and we're going to talk in this episode about grief. And you know what, Rachel, I'm just going to kick it to you and say, what do you have to say about grief?
I have so much to say about grief.
Okay, perfect. I'm happy to hear that. Not happy to hear that you've had so much grief, as we all have, but happy that you can take the lead on this.
Okay. So in another episode, we talked about what I was able to give to my son, which was patience, structure, boundaries, and communication. And I was able to teach him that learning can be safe and making mistakes can be safe. And that was a direct link to my own healing that I've done. What does that actually look like? A huge part, in my experience, is feeling the grief of the unmet needs as a child. Mm-hmm. When I'm with my kid, I'm facing everything I went through at my son's age.
Yep.
My brain is doing it. I'm not doing it on purpose. My brain is a marvelous mechanism. So it's scanning everything, every stimulus. It's constantly scanning and going, okay, what's the history with this stimulus? Safe, unsafe. So when my son is 8, my brain is remembering, without my permission, everything that happened at 8.
Yeah.
Right? So I wasn't taught much about much. I have this joke with a friend of mine that's like, I didn't really learn much from my parents. And I love my parents and I love everything that they were capable of giving to me with what they knew, right? There wasn't a lot of time where my parents sat down with me and intentionally taught me how to do something. So I was left with feeling really incapable and really stupid, right? So what happens in parenting is when my son wants to put on his shoes, but he doesn't know how to tie his shoe, and he feels sad or disappointed. If I haven't cleared out my fight or flight energy to sadness and disappointment, then I'm going to react to him by shaming him and shutting him down. And that's called generational trauma. And then I pass it down to him. Then he's going to take away from that. Learning is unsafe, right? I can't be frustrated. I can't be disappointed. Mommy's going to get mad at me. Mommy's going to abandon me if I'm not perfect. All that happens there, right? So in order for me to show up in that moment, present, neutral, compassionate, a loving witness to him, I had to grieve all the times I didn't have that from a parent.
That's right.
And what does that look like? Crying.
Yeah.
Talking to that little girl at 8 who really needed guidance and didn't feel like she could ask for it, didn't feel like she was getting it, didn't even know she needed it because it wasn't talked about, which again is one of those things where whatever isn't talked about, you just internalize as shame. So if asking for things wasn't seen, modeled, witnessed, experienced, that's shameful. So grieving is it really is what I've experienced catapults me into the next layer of consciousness because it completes a cycle. And I really believe that our bodies naturally do that. I think we're always in a state of grief, some part of it, letting go of a belief, letting go of a person, letting go of an emotion. And when I was 19 and I watched my stepdad die, who was like the father that I always needed, I watched him die in front of me. And his name is Franklin Unruh. And I named my son middle name after him. And when he died, I watched him die. And I remember holding his body against my body the night before he died. I thought he was going to die the night before and he didn't. And I watched him become a body without a soul. Mm. And I went, whoa. This was 19. I remember just sitting with his dead body after he died of cancer. And it was lifeless. And I thought, I'm not a body. This is a vessel. His life is gone. I'm life. And so I became very lost in the grief. I didn't know how to grieve it. So I started researching grief, And I think that at the core of addiction and trauma, I have to learn to grieve.
Yeah. And gosh, thank you for all of that, because once again, it's so layered. And when I think of grief, I love that you're talking about, to me, the deepest grief has been the grief that I experience of a part of me that I know needs to die off.
Ooh. Whoa.
And an old way of being and seeing. And that is something that I used to resist, but became very willing to lean into. And that came from allowing myself to feel. It keeps coming back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
David Hawkins, in one of his books, I think it might be Power versus Force, said if we really allowed ourselves to feel grief, we would be complete in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if that's true. I want to lean into the spirit of that, though, because I remember when my friend Colin died suddenly. I got the phone call back when phones had cords. It was in the 1990s. Suicide or overdose, we won't ever know. It was sudden, and I got the phone call, and I collapsed to the floor and just sobbed for about 5 minutes. And then there was a mechanism within me that shut it down.
Yeah.
And that moment provided such wisdom in my life, because I was shocked about that mechanism that felt like it wasn't me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I shut that down.
Yeah.
And I was like, smiles. My friends came to pick me up and they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing. I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I became so curious about the mechanism that allowed me to not feel.
Yeah.
And I used to think, how do I get rid of the mechanism?
I love that. Yeah.
And now I'm like, whoo, look how powerful that mechanism is. That's a brilliant strategy for survival. And yet it doesn't allow me to take the 20 minutes to grieve.
Yep.
And so we say grieving is a process. You'll be grieving forever. That may or may not be true.
May or may not be true.
If I really let myself feel, I remember when my mentor, Mary Helen, passed and made her transition, I instantly felt closer to her. Mm-hmm. I had a very rough night that night. There was like all kinds of things going on. Got the call the next morning that she had passed. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because there was this really difficult experience. I immediately felt closer to her than ever. I had someone in my life where, he passed away suddenly in a car accident, and we just did not resolve the thing that I knew we would. I instantly was at peace with him.
Wow.
I instantly was at peace with all the stuff I was still trying to work through.
Yeah.
Because there was something about knowing that he had moved into a different realm that I'm like, well, I guess it's time to let it go.
Yeah. I really want to study snakes, because snakes shed their skin. It's just part of life. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. I believe part of being human is grieving. And there's no roadmap for it here, especially in America. Right. We lack so much tradition. We lack so much human honoring. People don't know how to grieve here.
Yep.
They can't wait to do anything they can to not talk about it. I remember when my stepdad died, almost no one talked about it with me.
Right.
No one wanted to ask me questions, right? I learned how to grieve by figuring it out on my own. And I will say I'm pretty good at it. And what do I mean by that? I know how to do it now. I know how to allow it to take place. When I was 28, from 28 to 34, so not that long ago, I've been in constant grief. I went through a betrayal in my marriage. Shortly after that, had sexual abuse memories surface. Shortly after that, got pregnant. Shortly after that, lost the baby. Shortly after that, left my marriage, left my family, left the future I thought I was going to have, left my best friend in the whole world, left my kid and my husband, left the whole life I thought I was going to have. And I went through so much grief. And what you said was profound, right? The grief that was the most intense was grieving the roles, grieving what I thought I needed to be loved, what I thought I needed to do to earn love, what I thought I needed to do to keep love. That was the deepest grief, because that was all connected to the unmet needs as a child that I learned somewhere in some moment. In order for me to maintain connection, I have to do or be different than who I am.
Yeah. And there's so much messaging around grief.
Yeah.
I remember there's so many different stories that are coming up for me. One is a story of a client who I worked with for many years. He had a mom and 2 sisters. His dad passed away when I think he was 10 or 11. And he said, not one, not two, but it felt like a dozen people said, be strong. You're the man of the family now. Not like, hello, 11-year-old, your father just died. How can I support you? Or how can I be present for you?
Right.
It's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay. And we say things like, I'm so sorry. Or we say things like, she's in a better place. He's in a better place. It's like we do these things, I think, not because we have ill intent, but because we don't know what to say, because there's so much unprocessed grief within ourselves that we feel like, let's just figure out something to say so we can all move on. The other story, and this is what we'll close with because we're going to stick to our 15 minutes, even though we still want to hear how you feel or what you think about 15-minute length. Do you want longer? Do you want shorter? Maybe this will be it. We'll just do this one series, but we want to hear more. When I was in India in 2006 and I had my most profound experience, spiritual experience, part of the experience, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but part of the experience was watching the bodies burn. In Varanasi, India, the place where many Hindus believe if you die there, your karma is removed, so they go there to die. It's a profound experience. But we were in a boat and we kind of moved right up, and I was about 6 feet away from watching the body burn. And I just had an awareness. First of all, there were other things that were leading to this spiritual experience I was in the midst of. I understood the importance of grieving at that moment, and that many cultures do a lot better job than we do. They acknowledge it. The family is standing there crying. They're putting the logs on. They're helping the loved one literally burn.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the transition.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that this is part of life.
Yeah.
You know, if we've come here hoping that no one in our life is going to die, I mean, the only alternative is that we're going to do it first, right? So like, it's part of life in this incarnation or in this this level of evolution. So I know we've brought up a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's good that we bring up a lot, and it's okay to grieve.
It's okay.
It's okay to grieve.
The best thing that anyone has ever said to me when I was in the midst of grief is this, and we'll close with this: whatever you're feeling, it's perfectly okay.
Whatever you're feeling is perfectly okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Beneath the Surface. As we close, we invite you to notice what may still be resonating or unfolding within you. There's no need to resolve anything, just allow it to be met with curiosity and compassion. If this conversation was meaningful, please subscribe, share the episode, or leave a review. It helps others discover this space and continue the conversation. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, stay present, and keep exploring what lives beneath the surface.